All right, we are back. Welcome to another episode of the All Games Mindset Podcast. We have today a special guest, Alex from Playing with Fire.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for coming on. First, we'd like to know, like, what's the basic summarization origin of like Playing with Fire? Like, how'd you start, or how did that end up being what it is today?
It's funny you asked that question because we actually released a video literally today, like 4 hours ago, on the origins of Playing with Fire. It's like a half-hour long monologue where I just talk about how I started the company. So the timing on that is pretty funny. But to make that half-hour video into like a 1-minute spiel, it started kind of as an accident. It started around 2016. I was working in corporate America, and I was just getting laid a lot online because I was working in sales, and I was applying a lot of the sales concepts I was learning from, really good sales trainers to online dating. It's not a perfect overlap, but there's a good amount of overlap. So I was starting to have some success, I was pretty well involved in the LA pickup scene. So I had a rough idea of, what everyone else's results were like. And I was like, maybe I'm not like crushing it, but I'm doing better than like the majority of guys. So I have like some value to offer. So I started a Facebook group. It was the original Facebook group. It was called Playing with Fire. I invited a few of my friends and people who I knew in the LA pickup scene, and that's it. I didn't market it. I didn't run any ads. I didn't do any kind of promotion. It was just strictly word of mouth. And all I would do in that group was just post like my lay reports from start to finish. But like that was like a big trademark. If you're gonna post in the group, you have to post all the screenshots. That was like a requirement. And the early days of that group were really interesting. It was like a very close-knit community. It was like very I don't even know how to describe it. It was very like kind of niche type of tight-knit bond that we had going, which obviously, dissipated as the group started to grow. But then, started to kind of evolve. People told their friends and they told their friends. And then, went from 100 people, 200, 500. At its peak, that free Facebook group was 10,000 people. Like it just insanely blew up. But so it all stemmed from that. I eventually built a website. Then eventually I created a YouTube channel. Then eventually I got on Instagram. Eventually we built an app. Eventually we built our own forums. Eventually we got on TikTok. So it all just expanded from there. I mean, that's a really short, watered down version of the story. I can go into more detail on any part of that. But yeah, that's kind of the basis of it.
Have you always been like pretty good with women, you would say, or like are you a natural? Because like
no, definitely not. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 19. Didn't start getting laid consistently until I was in my mid-20s. So definitely far from a natural.
Yeah, because a lot of guys they beat themselves up if they're not good with women, and they take it out on themselves in a lot of other ways,
I mean, I did too, for sure. I had like when I was in my 18, 19, I had horribly low self-esteem. I just thought I was a loser. I saw my friends getting laid. I couldn't get laid. So I was like, well, why not? What the fuck is wrong with me? I thought I was ugly. I thought I was like socially awkward. So yeah, I definitely developed some inner game or whatever, some just emotional, not trauma, I want to say, but like roadblocks from that period. I mean, it goes away after a while, but yeah, so definitely not natural though.
Yeah, it's really all a work in progress. I noticed that on your channel, you really talk a lot about like texting game and like stuff, because this is relatively new, right? Texting is sort of like a lot of 21st century stuff compared to like back in the day, you had to like approach girls, or you had to meet them in like social circles, or you'd have to go to the bar, right? And I think a lot of people used to have more confidence. Now that we have like the internet, I think a lot less people are confident than they used to be. So now I think texting has become a lot more of a strategy now, because we're just so used to doing it, right? And girls in like modern times are so used to using it a lot more. So like, what do you think the biggest mistake guys make when it comes to texting girls?
There's so many, but I would say the biggest one is being too gamey. So just being too fancy, too try hard, trying really hard, and just coming off as a weirdo as a result of that.
That makes sense. Yeah, I know a lot of times they try to they try to seal the deal super fast, and then they sort of make her feel uncomfortable sometimes. Like I've seen a couple of my friends, they make that mistake where they go way too hard, way too quick. Or, they'll just be like, "Oh, I want to smash," and she'll be like, "What?" They don't really try to work their way up to it. But like,
yeah, that's like a separate issue of its own. That would be like poor closing, which is definitely another issue, right up there with the being overly gamey.
What do you think like the best openers for like online dating are?
I think that the best opener will be something that's custom tailored around the girl's photos. That's going to be the most effective. But short of that, because that takes time to come up, and sometimes she doesn't really have good photos that you can come up with something on. Something short and sweet. Like I'll give one for example. What's one that we've been using? You seem like my type with like a winky face. Short and sweet, and then it gets the girl curious, like, oh, what does he mean by what's his type? Like, what role does he think I fall into?
Yeah, I like that. We actually did a Tinder experiment where we created a fake girl's Tinder account, used like a low line celebrity, and like put in like a couple of her pictures and a picture of my cat just to add in a pet perspective, and we put it up there for like 24 to 48 hours or so and let people match and see what their openers were, and a lot of them were just hey. A couple of them were actually going by the pictures and stuff, and we actually in our video about it, we actually said that those were probably like the better ones to go for.
Yeah, most guys are just like, hey, and then they would be like, hey, you there? You know, like standard.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good afternoon. Hey, good evening.
Yeah, it's pretty much. And then it was
there was a guy in there that he literally it was like 3 days in a row he would say hey, but we never responded. And then the day that we recorded the video to talk about the profile, he had literally messaged us, I think just before we even started recording, another thing about it was either another response of hey, or he was trying to get one of those he was using one of those tactics to try to bring us back in, but he clearly did not work.
Bring you guys back in.
We weren't really place. So it was
because in his mind he's trying to bang like a hot girl. In reality, he's talking to like two dudes,
yeah,
trying to rope them back in.
Yeah,
I feel bad for that guy. I hope he's not watching. But
what do you think is actually the best dating app that people could use right now? Like that brings the most results?
I think it's a three-way tie between Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. I think those are the best ones right now.
Yeah, they seem to be the top three. Actually, what's your thoughts on Facebook dating?
I've personally never tried it. I'm banned off Facebook. Long story in of itself.
Oh,
but yeah, I've heard that people get a lot of really attractive matches on it, but girls don't really take Facebook dating seriously, so they're not as down to meet up with whoever they're talking to on there.
That's interesting.
So
I've actually had most of my success on Facebook dating actually.
Really?
Like it's actually I really can't explain why. Most of the meetups I've ever had was from there compared to the other apps.
That's interesting. What city are you in?
We're actually in New Jersey.
Okay. What part of New Jersey?
Monmouth County.
Okay. I grew up in Bergen County.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah, New Jersey is a very interesting place right now. You have so many mixed people and like a lot of like a very emotional state right now.
Yeah, and a lot of the girls around here, especially, well, not in Monmouth County, but I feel like a lot of the girls surrounding Monmouth County, they're not as I wouldn't say the word submissive, but they're very flaky, I feel. Right? But anyway,
I can see that. Why is Monmouth County the exception?
Well, I know from Andrew, he's had probably some of the most success probably from Monmouth County, right?
Yeah, actually, if not most of my success was Monmouth County. I'll say like 75%. Because I try to keep it like local-ish. Because I'm doing all kinds of things, and it's hard to like go very far to meet a lot of people. But
right.
I don't know. Facebook dating seems to be very underrated. Like no one ever talks about it. That's why I figured I'd ask. Because
that's true. Maybe I should deep dive into that. I'll create a troll Facebook account and see how I do on it.
I don't say anything. I don't say why not.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's going on right now is like cold approach is it's not a dying art per se, but a lot more people are relying on online dating because I think that it's a lot more convenient. Of course, it's easier to swipe. And I mean, if you have good pictures and a good bio and you can really work on that, you could actually get a lot of success. But I think it's good to maximize both cold approach and like warm approach and like develop new friends along the way and like develop tribes as well as use online dating, like combine the best of like both worlds. Which one do you think is better?
I've always agreed with that. Just combine the two. I don't think one is better than the other. I think they're different. I don't think cold approach will ever die though. I think there will always be girls who appreciate when a guy can go up and talk to them in real life.
Yeah, because whenever I approach a girl, they're just like so caught off guard because it's like it's never happened to them. So they get like the shock factor in the beginning, and then
Yeah, because like especially around here, like no one, and especially during the COVID times, like going to cold approach someone during COVID is like is like a make or break type of deal, especially if depending upon the person. Like if you're going up to a woman and you're just like, hey, how are you? And she can either be like, yo, you step back, or they actually might, because I feel like I've actually seen that happen. That's actually happened to me at my job. Like someone actually went and tried cold approaching a woman in my store, and she literally told him to step back and pretty much just shut him down completely. He didn't even speak yet. He just walked up, didn't even say a word, and she literally just put up her hand. She's like, you need to step back. This is 6 feet, whatever. And he just
Jesus fucking Christ.
And
people are retarded. Dude, I live in Miami and none of that shit happens here. People are just like, okay, yeah, COVID is nonsense. Let's live our
New
lives.
Jersey's insane, man. A lot of people in New Jersey take it very seriously. Like I was actually happened to me too. I was at the park. And I went to go approach this one girl, and she had a mask on. Usually I don't do that because I just feel like those are not good leads. But I went to go approach her anyway, and I was like, "Hey,
who the fuck walks around with a mask in the park? Jesus Christ!"
A lot of people. You'd be very surprised. People like driving their cars with the mask like by themselves. I'm just like,
oh my God.
I was like, I gotta move to Texas or something. But like, I went to go approach a girl at a park, and she had a mask on. I went to go give it a shot. She was like, "Where's your mask?" Like, I went to go say, like, "Hey, I really want to talk to you," because she's like, "Where's your mask?" And I was like, I couldn't at that point. I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing it. I was like, all right.
You should have gotten all scientific on her. Like, yo, do you know that masks actually do not do anything to prevent the infection of COVID? Did you know that fun little fact? Let me show you on Google. And just,
I was gonna say, I just thought you looked really cute in that mask.
But
then I was like, you know what? I don't even want
the merits of Corona.
Yeah. I was like, all right, I'll come back later. Like, what do you think? Like, what kind of mistakes do you think guys make when they're like cold approaching girls? Like, maybe the first time, or maybe they're used to it. Like, what are like some common things that you see that guys go wrong with it?
Mistakes guys are making with cold approaching.
Yeah.
Let me think. Common mistakes guys make when cold approaching. I think that they go like too gamey or too weird, or just try like shit that's like kind of bizarre, like hey, I saw that you were wearing blue, and you know what that said. What the fuck? Like, I don't know. I just think guys have forgot. The pickup community has fucked a lot of guys over. They just kind of forgot that, back in 20 years ago, before the pickup community, you see a hot girl, go up to her like, hey, I want to say hi to you. You're cute. Hi, my name is blah. So it doesn't have to be like weird or try hard, this big thing that I think a lot of guys make it out to be. I think that body language is really important. Eye contact. That's a lot of other things guys forget about. They focus on what they say instead of how they say it and their body language. I think a lot of guys, they pussy out and they ask a girl for her Instagram or her Snapchat. That's a mistake. I always go for the phone number. So, yeah, I think it's a number of things. It just really depends on the person, kind of where they're coming from.
Yeah. A lot of guys, they have a lot of trouble like with rejection. They take it really hard on themselves, and then they prevent it from having them do it again. And then like, that's really what it comes down to is if you get even like one rejected, like, they take it very personal. And
yeah, it's unfortunate.
You have to realize that it really is a numbers game. And it's about consistency. You can't, even the best guys in the world only have like 10% success rate. So like,
yeah, you just got to keep trying. And sometimes people they don't know that's the thing, that they need to keep trying, and they just I failed, they got to give up. But that's not the mindset that you need to have like when doing something like cold approaching.
Yeah,
no, definitely not.
I think a lot of guys, the biggest problem they have is beginning the interaction, because I think the hardest part is actually going up there. But when you do, then it's game on. But I think it's the first like couple seconds when they decide that they want to do it. They'll either do two things. They'll either back out, or they might like get so nervous that they'll kind of fumble their words, and they'll make it really awkward. So what do you think is the best way to initiate an interaction?
In terms of mindset, or actually like the things that you do?
Both. We'll go both.
In terms of mindset, just think about it like this. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, the girl rejects you, you're still no worse than you started. So you only have something to gain from this. You have nothing to lose. So that would be one internal thing I have. The second is don't dilly-dally. Like when you see a girl you want to approach, just do it. Don't stand around thinking about it. I do very much believe in like the 3-second rule that Mystery talks about. In terms of the actual things, just like, I'm trying to think of how to break it down. Strong eye contact. Try to almost make eye contact before you actually approach. If you can do that, that's much better. Um, Go in there, good body language, square up, and be like, "Hi, I just want to say hi." You know, I like to just go somewhat direct, or I'll just like, "Hey, I want to meet you real quick. My name's Alex. Like, shake your hand." And then just like shoot the shit. Like, so what are you up to today? And like, I just banter and flirt. I like to flirt, tease the girl, like crack a lot of jokes. And then after that, I'll typically say something like, "Let's grab a drink sometime soon." The girl will be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds fun. Cool. Give me your number." Put your number in her phone. Text her an hour later, and then bam. Like, it's pretty straightforward. There's not like a rocket science to it.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys, they just end up overcomplicating it in their heads. As I said, the biggest thing you can do is just do it. Like 80% of success is actually initiating. And once you're in there, you just give it your best, and really you can improve your game over time and repetition. But other than that, really you just have to get the courage to actually go up there. And it can take some time, and you might go through a couple of failures before you actually have some success. But once you actually start, then it's no going back. It's just a ladder of improvement if you're doing things right. What do you think is like the best places though to meet women? I know that you probably get that question a lot.
Like best cities or best like bars, clubs.
I would say like, yeah, bars, clubs. I mean, in
I,
general.
I like. I personally like. It depends what you like. I personally like chill dive bars. So I like to go to this place in Miami called the Wharf. It's like a bar. If the music's not loud, it's like a big outdoor patio area. Like there's a lot of people, like hundreds of people. The music's not loud. You can talk. No one's really dancing, so it's a good space. Chill lounge. That's kind of what I like.
Yeah. What about like during the day game, like during the day?
Um, Grocery stores are good. Or just walking around city center again. Like I live in Miami, so for me, just like walking around. We call it Brickell City Center, like just Brickell, which is like the downtown area. Like there's a lot of shops here, and like you can always see like plenty of hot girls just walking around.
Yeah.
You don't really need to go anywhere else.
All we have is like ShopRite.
Shop right. I remember those days.
Oh, they're still alive and well.
I don't know how, but yeah.
What kind of tips do you give guys like how to gain like confidence like in their mindset, when it comes to like dealing with women in general?
Well, a lot of confidence comes from good experiences, right? So if I take a
Yeah.
guy who has no confidence and I get him laid every single night for a week, for the next month or whatever, he's going to be a lot more confident, even if everything else is the same. So my way of getting guys confident is just getting them, desired outcomes, like the results they want. So whenever I have a virgin client, I try to make things as easy as possible for him. So like we set up the date in such a way where all he has to do is show up and like not have a seizure and he'll get laid, right? So yeah, I would say that's kind of my take on it. I mean, of course, there's the whole like coming, but that's kind of gets into like wooey shit of like how to overcome your internal demons, and different people have different thoughts on that. I don't know. My approach has always been just give someone a lot of good reference experiences, and they'll become more confident.
Mm. Yeah, actually, another fun question I had was like, a lot of guys they're always complaining about that they're in the friend zone. Help! I can't get out. I have feelings for this girl, but she only sees me as a friend, and she's in my friend group, but I don't know what to do, and I always get nervous around her. What tips would you give guys of how they can escape the friend zone if they're in it?
Well, the best way to escape the friend zone is not to get in the friend zone in the first place. So if you're already in the friend zone, you're already kind of fucked up
Mm.
because you're in the friend zone because you never made your intentions clear, and she never saw you as like a sexual threat, to say the least. So it's not always easy to get out of the friend zone once you're in it, but I would say the best thing you could do is just stop being her bitch. Like when she calls on you to like, oh, can you get me? Like, hey, sorry, I'm actually busy tonight. That's gonna make her feel, oh shit, am I losing my bitch? Um, don't be rude to her or anything like that, but just like don't make yourself so available. Um, and then when she wants to hang out, hey, do you want to go to a restaurant? Do you want to go to get our nails done? No, I'm gonna pass on that. But yeah, I'm gonna drink some wine in my place. You can come over if you want. Right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. Right? And then it really comes down to after that, just making your intentions clear and just making a move. And then if you get rejected, don't get butthurt. Don't make a big deal out of it. But it's better to go for it and get rejected than just always be in friend purgatory.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've actually gotten myself out of the friend zone a couple times, but I think the reason for that was just because they were attracted to me anyway. I didn't know it, and and this is like a while ago. And then when I found out, I was like, and then I started to learn how to like work with that, and then I ended up getting myself out of the friend zone a couple times. So I think you can, if they were like previously attracted to you and like you were just like, duh, like you're just playing dumb, you know. But
Uh-huh.
a lot of the times, what you said is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
A lot of guys also they argue like on the internet all the time, like what's more important, like looks, money, status, game. What do you think is actually the most important, like when it comes to like looks, money, status, or like having game in general, like the social intelligence aspect of it?
Yeah, so I see it like I call it sexual market value. That's how I sum up looks, money, status, and then game. They're two important sides of the same coin. It's not like one's more important than the other. That's like saying, are your balls or is your dick more important for replicating? It's like not one's not really more important. They're just both kind of necessary. Uh, yeah, I think they're both important. Um, in terms of like, will looks matter more than money, right? Like, well, a lot of that will come down to the girl. Like a younger sorority girl, to her, looks will probably be the most important factor. And for example, if you're in a fraternity, that gives you status in that college. So to a college girl, that's going to be impressive. To a girl in her 30s, the fact that you're in a fraternity is going to give you no status, right? So the same exact thing is going to have complete different perceived status indications for different girls. So yeah, so I think that it's not so much about which one is more important. Just they're important to different girls and they weigh in, but they're all important. You should focus on maximizing your game and maximizing your sexual market value to the best of your extent.
Yeah, we always said that you need to be working on sort of everything, right? So like while you're sorting out your game, you should also be like obviously eating right, getting proper sleep, working on like your mindset and everything, and just pursuing like your purpose in life, which everyone says anyway.
For
But like
sure.
it's true. Everyone should like, you should not be only focusing on women. You should be focusing on your like put yourself first, and then women come second. But in today's world, like just girls are like always shoved in our faces, was like on TV with the ads, it's on advertisements everywhere. It's like being having your biology used against you. So everybody's always sort of chasing the tail instead of
Yeah.
like actually like working, putting time into the business or like trying to make money. Instead, they're always like they're either swiping or they're upset because the girl at their job rejected them and they're trying to hit on the girl at the workplace and that's not working. So like, it seems like things are always being shoved in our face and like all this like technology and information is just getting shoved in our heads constantly.
Yeah, man. Well, because they know marketers know sex sells, so that's why they do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. What do you tell the guys who are like maybe like let's say a guy who was like 5'3" and he comes to you and says, Alex, I'm really insecure about my height and I feel like I can't get laid and I'm not having a lot of success. What would you tell that guy?
Yeah, that's a tough question because 5'3" is quite short.
Like 5'3", 5'4", 5'5"?
Yeah, I would say like like there's no you are gonna have a harder time if you're shorter. There's no denying that. I wouldn't lie to the guy. I would say though that it is still possible. Like you can't really control your height. At least you can do like what are called elevator shoes. That'll give you an extra 2 inches, which can be helpful. But you can only control your height to a certain extent, to a very small extent. So I mean, it is what it is. I would just focus on maximizing the other things that you can, like your fitness, like your game.
Yeah, I think the most important part that we also have is like time, right? No one wants to waste their time. I think time is the most valuable thing we have because time is undefeated, as Rocky Balboa said. So it's like, you know, so my question is like, how do you know when you should stop talking to a girl? Is there like a certain point where you should be like, okay, she's not interested? Like, is there maybe certain cues that she'll give off when it comes to texting or in person, like maybe an approach as well?
It's a good question. Yeah, it's a good question. I would say that it comes down to like looking at the signs. Is she looking at you or is she looking away? What's her proximity? Is she pretty close to you or is she far away? The thing is, I feel like most beginners, intermediates, they actually don't have the know-withal to accurately judge whether girls into them. So they should just go assume every girl's into them and act like that. Versus when you get more advanced, then you can really accurately tell, and then you can save yourself a little bit of time. But I think that a lot of beginners, they might just prematurely eject and be like, "Yeah, she wasn't into me." Like, dude, what are you talking about? She was really into you, but they just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to every specific situation. You know, you can never really know. But like, are there signs that a guy could know, like how to tell when she's feeling you or not? Maybe she'll probably do different things, right? I mean, the same thing like you said with the eye contact. Like if she's not looking at you right, or like especially like if you're on a date and she's looking at her phone, like I don't like that, so I'll just be like, oh, you texting, well, you texting over there or something like that, So you could like kind of read between the lines, like body language versus like how if she's feeling you like on a date or if texting, sometimes they just don't respond. How do you like tell if a girl's gonna flake or not? Is there like signs that she'll tell through text that she might not show up for the date?
Sometimes, I mean, the lower invested she is, the more likely she is not to show up. If she is highly invested, then the more likely she is to show up. That's really the biggest one, I would say. Meaning, if she's like texting you a lot beforehand, then the chances of her showing up are pretty good. If she's really just dropping off and not really being responsive, then the chance of her not showing up are pretty good as well.
Actually, do you think that certain movies, by the way, like help guys with like game?
I think most movies are pretty bad on this topic. I don't know. Throw out some movies at me, and I'll tell you if they're good ones for game.
Have you ever watched the movie Hitch? When I was
Yeah,
little, I thought that was like the greatest movie on like game ever. Because that came out like 2005.
yeah. I think that movie is atrocious for game.
I know
So
that was like one of the like back in 2005. I was like, oh, I want to be like Will Smith, and then of course we found out about the entanglements, and I was like, oh, another one down.
yeah, yeah. Not Hitch. I'm trying to think of if there's another good one. Um, maybe Casino Royale with Daniel Craig.
Mm. All those James Bond movies are awesome.
Yeah, maybe that one. The TV show Californication.
I've never
That's a
seen
really
that.
that's a really good one with David Duchovny.
Mm.
Yeah, I think we know someone who was actually watching that recently. That actually, when you said that, I just hit my mind.
Yeah,
I
that show really shows you what real game is.
Mm. Yeah, and it's like I think a lot of people they like I know people personally who like they'll take things that they've found out from like movies and like pickup lines and then they'll use it in real life. I'm just like, oh, don't say that because a lot of these script writers they don't know what they're talking about. Mm.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Well, because they have to appear to like the whole like I don't know like watered down version. No one really wants to see the nitty and gritty.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Like no one, like a lot of the scriptwriters, most of them probably have never done like an actual done game like how like you do, Alex. They don't go out every night and talk to whoever, and especially the movies before there was no online dating and texting. It was mostly just going out and talking to people, and sometimes they just over dramatize that type of stuff, but that's not even how it really is in real life. And every single time you do it, it's always different.
Yeah, I mean for sure, for sure.
Do you think most guys should like go to get a girlfriend when they're young, or do you think they should like sort of play the field for a while and sort of like understand dating experience? Because I think most guys they seem to just want to get a girlfriend. Like I know a few people like that, and then there are people who they never want to settle down and they just want to be
I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think it just comes down to what you want and what you're looking for in life. I don't think there's one that's better than the other. It just comes down to really what you want in life.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of people tell me that they feel pressured to like get married at an early age because their parents did and all that stuff. But I think the world is sort of changing really quick, like at a vast
Yeah,
rate.
my parents got married when my mom was 19, my dad was 21.
Yeah, same here. And then my parents ended up divorced. So I was like, well,
Same here.
obviously, but it's like a lot of people they either feel super pressured to like settle down as quick as they can, or then you have like the other side, or the guys would be like, well, I just can't settle down because I'm having too much fun, and then they'll have to deal with the shame of like, oh, if you don't settle down, you're not gonna be able to, you're not gonna be able to have a family one day. You're gonna get too old or something like that. When you go, how do you handle like shame tactics if like people around you are not comfortable with like seeing multiple women or something, or maybe a guy?
Tell those people to go suck a dick. I mean, I wouldn't hang out with anyone like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, let me not get laid because that makes you feel more comfortable. I mean, those are shitty friends. I don't know who those people are, but I would not hang out with them.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of guys. I mean, some I know personally that like they want to see like the dating experience, and they want to like either they want to break up with their girlfriend and they want to go see what the world is like, or they want to start getting girls, but they don't know how. And they're sort of like stuck in this mentality of, if I go and start dating and seeing multiple women or something, then I'll get called a lot of names by my family, or, like my friends, I'll lose my friends, which I agree with you. Like, they're not real friends if they're not going to support like how you want to live your life, because everybody has a different path, right? Different way that they want to go. And I think a lot of people, they don't live the way they want to because they feel like very shamed by like the people they surround themselves with. And it's true that you are who you surround yourself with, right? So
Yeah, I mean, you got to get out of that environment where you're being shamed by people for doing what you want to do. I mean, I don't know. I have that has never happened to me, honestly, because I don't hang out with people who would shame me for doing whatever. So I don't know. I don't really know how. I personally never experienced that, but I would just say, get out of that environment. Don't be around those people.
Do you, when you like go out to like the bars and stuff, do you end up going with people, or do you end up going alone?
No, I never go alone. I go with my friends.
Okay, because I know some people like to go like night game, and they like to do it solo, and they like to do it the long way.
I find that boring as fuck. Like, I'm not gonna go by myself now. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with friends.
That's what I'm saying. What's your ideal, like approaching like a two set, or how does that work? Let's say you're with one friend and you see like a group of 3 to 4 girls. How do you handle that?
Depends on the exact situation, but I'll probably just go in, start chatting up the girls, and bring my buddy in, and then try to probably isolate one that I click with, and then just move things forward from there.
Are there like different openers that you can use at a bar versus like day game or something? Like maybe, I mean, I think it's good to just use your surroundings, like the music or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I just go in. I don't do like any fancy openers or bars. I just say, hi, Alex. Like, I just introduce myself.
Yeah, I think that way works the best because it's just authentic. I think a woman can sense when you're authentic or not versus when you're just doing something that you were told to, or something that like maybe like those, like the old RSD guys would tell you to do some crazy stuff, like when you would go in and then
for sure,
and you would just get you booted out, and then you just get a drink thrown in your face like an idiot because you just listen to whatever you hear and you don't really analyze it for yourself. I mean, I guess sometimes you have to learn the hard way, but I think it just comes down to like authenticity. Like, are you really being yourself, or like if after you say what you were told to say, are you just gonna just lose it and then you just, because you don't know what to say after that?
Yeah, 100%.
Because if you're not authentic, then they can just, I feel like women can just like see right through what you're doing, and they'll try to take over the situation that you walked yourself into. Like, if you're really not being authentic and you're, either you're copy pasting something from something either you read, you heard, or you saw, then they can probably completely see through what you're doing and just take over. But if you're super authentic, then they see you as just a normal human being, and you can take it right from there. But
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think doing fancy, weird shit is just never a good idea.
No, I don't think so either. I feel like that's just you're just waiting to get a drink thrown at you or something. Well, I guess depending.
What are your thoughts on marriage?
In general, or for me, or
we'll go both.
Well, I think that I don't really see the point in it. That's not to say, I mean, I see the point in monogamous relationships, but I don't really see the point in marriage. Like, all you're doing is just bringing the government in to your relationship. Like, what else are you doing with marriage? So I don't really see. Yeah, I just don't really see the point of actually getting married. Why not just live together with a girl who you really like for an extended period of time?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good if you're trying to like have kids and start a family, but
Yeah.
I like the idea of marriage, but I don't like the way that we do it today, like with the government and everything. It's just not really. If anything, get a prenup, but they don't always work as well, right?
Yeah, I've heard that. There's this guy, Anthony Johnson. He has this whole thing about what's called a private marriage. So it's like a way of getting married without having the government get involved.
Is that possible? I didn't even know.
Yeah, apparently it is. Yeah.
Is it possible in New Jersey?
I don't know. I don't know. He lives in Florida, but you'll have to. You can check out his channel though. But he has a whole like spiel on that.
That's interesting.
That's actually some good information.
I know a lot of people. They want to get married, and they definitely like they have an intuition to do it, and maybe they found a girl that they see themselves settling down with, but they think that with the government trying to dictate where their stuff goes if things go wrong, that's a really bad bet for men. I guess it comes down to risk management. I guess.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for sure.
So,
Like, especially if you're a guy who has a lot of assets and you have a lot to lose.
Yeah. Or if you live in New Jersey, then they just completely just kick you to the curb, pretty much.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, we know. There's a lot of stories, especially because I work with a lot of people at my job. So I every time I see some people come through, and they'll say their stories, and a lot of guys, they'll say that, yeah, I got divorced and I lost all my stuff, or you know they completely didn't hear anything I was saying. My ex-wife is is a train wreck, but when we divorced, they gave her everything anyway, and I've seen a lot of terrible things like that happen, especially here.
Damn. That blows.
I feel like marriage is like in the concept of it on paper is like a good thing, but I feel like how we actually do it is probably not the best. And I feel like sometimes, depending upon the woman, like if they want marriage, I feel like they just want the wedding and they don't want the actual marriage. I feel like they just want the day and wear the dress and all that other stuff.
Which is where like the idea of private marriage could come in.
Yeah.
It's really, as I said, it comes down to like risk management, and maybe it's not for everybody, especially like the way that we do it today.
Yeah. I feel like if you're going to get married, and you got to make sure that like the woman that you're with like really desires to be with you, and like just doesn't want anything other than you, and as long as you yourself are on your purpose and you're not focusing just generally on her, that's your number one thing. If you're focusing on the things that you want to do in your life and making money and doing all these different things and having her there with you, I feel like that's like the best way to do it.
Yeah, and if you're just in the right place at the right time in your life to get married.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually hinted at it before, but you talked about it before a little bit. Like, what advice do you give to like a virgin who comes to you and he's like, hey man, I'm just, I've been having a rough time. He just comes very honest with you. Is there like certain steps that you take with him to sort of get into the game officially and sort of get him a little bit better? Like, what are some of the things that
I'll try to make things as easy as possible for him and set him up for success. So basically I'll take a look at his Tinder profile, kind of try to make it as sexual as possible, help him with his texting so that the girls that he matches, he invites them straight over to his house. And then, it's like screened for sex. So at that point, when the date happens, all he has to do is, again, show up and move things forward, right? So, and then he gets that win, then he starts to feel more confident. Then we put him in more challenging situations, like, at a bar or something like that. But first, you want to give him those easy victories.
What do you think is the best way to like get a guy from the text on the app to getting their phone number?
To getting a girl's phone number? Well, the phone number, I mean, it's easy. I mean, I don't know. You could be like, hey, should be your phone number. But the problem is, will that phone number go anywhere? I would say my approach has always been to build some investment. So get the conversation going, get the girl investing in the conversation. Once I do that, then I move things forward, move things towards the meetup. Then at that point, once she agrees to meet up with me, I switch it over to text.
And what's the best method do you think to like from texting to like meet up on the date? Is this basically the same thing, or does any of the dynamics change?
No, I don't think any dynamics change. I think it's pretty much the same shit on the app as it is over text. I really don't think there's much difference.
Because I think what happens sometimes, only sometimes, is that like after they get the number, they think that, okay, I've won. She's gonna go out with me, and then they kind of fumble around a little bit and then they mess up.
Yeah, number is so far from the date, like especially nowadays, the number doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, there was a time when like when you got a girl's phone number, it was like, yes.
Yeah. Back I know what you mean. Like 15 years ago, if you got a girl's phone number, that was like, okay, we're gonna hang out.
Yeah, if you didn't mess it up, it was basically a close. But now it's just girls will just give their number out. And
yeah, now doesn't mean anything.
A lot of the times, actually, they give like you their Snapchat or Instagram instead of their phone number if you're like getting their number in person. What's your response to that? Like in that kind of situation?
Yeah, I wouldn't take a woman's Snapchat or Instagram. That's a waste of time. Like if I'm talking to a girl, I'm like, hey, let me grab your number. And she's like, oh, well,
yeah. If you get the objection, the phone number objection, like, oh, I don't really know you that much. I think I'm just gonna get your Snapchat, or she offers her Instagram because she just wants another follower.
I'd be like, I would look at her and be like, we both know what this means. She'd be like, what? I'd be like, if we exchange Instagrams, you and I are never meeting up. You know that. I know that. So listen, This is what we can do. Why don't I grab your number? We'll text a little bit back and forth. If you don't want to meet up with me, what's the worst that can happen? You can just say no, or you can block me. Who gives a shit? At the very least, let's give this a shot. But if you're not interested, that's cool. I understand. End it off on a takeaway. And yeah, I mean, that's how I would approach that.
What do you think?
I would call it out.
Oh yeah, I would too. What do you think is actually the biggest dating app mistakes that guys make?
Besides the over gaminess, having shitty profile pics.
Yes, we can confirm that too.
Yeah. Do you think it's like all in the pictures, or is it like the bio too, or are they like a combination? Because I think
the vast
pictures
majority
are more important than the bio.
Yeah, the vast majority of it is in the pictures. It's largely pictures.
Do you recommend it that they like get like a photographer or something, or they just get really good with angles and stuff? Or like,
get one of your buddies. I just did a video. It's called "How to Do a Photo Shoot at Home." I literally show you how to do a photo shoot with your friends without spending $1. So I encourage you guys to check that out. But yeah, you don't even need a professional photographer.
Yeah, I mean,
the iPhones are getting so good now.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I mean, phone quality is pretty good to the point where if you have a good light or something, at least have it illuminated or at least dress well. And you think it's like dressing in your pictures matters like a lot, or is it like just the location you're at, or maybe a combination of both?
Both of those things for sure. You want to dress good.
Yeah, I think good right time, right place kind of thing. If you're
you want also a photo that looks natural. You don't want to seem like you're try hard, like you want a picture where you were just doing something and someone took a picture of you.
Yeah, most people I think
Davey?
like a lot they're just holding their phone up and just like they're doing it like they'll be walking on the beach or something and just like it's like
yeah.
At least have someone else take it for you so it looks like you're not, you just don't go, you're not alone all the time. You're not just some isolated guy, like make it look like you have friends.
It's pretty funny. Like a few of the pictures I use on my Tinder, my mom actually took of me, and I always like make the joke like that guys are like when they're like getting photos, and it's like it feels like they're having their mommy take the picture of them, but in reality, that's kind of what I did. I just made it seem like it wasn't my mom because it's a good picture, and I showed her what to do to make it a good picture. So I always found that ironic. Like people always think like, man, you must have had some crazy drop like thousands of dollars on a professional photographer to get that shot. Nah, man, it was my mom. I dropped like nothing on that.
You think it's better actually to like take pictures with like multiple people or just mostly photos of yourself? Or maybe your dog. I think it's good like a you and your dog picture.
Yeah. I have a lot of pictures of me and my dog. Rhaegar, get in the camera. Oh, he's chilling. But yeah. I have a lot of pictures of me and my dog.
Yeah, I have a white German Shepherd. I found out like if I go out with my dog, then I have a lot better of a success rate because girls just love
100%. You have a white German Shepherd? It's a German Shepherd that's white?
Yeah, we rescued her. She's so cute.
Oh, that's awesome. I've never seen one of those.
Yeah, they're a lot more rare. So when I go out with her, it's like game over. Like I'm good to go. Can
you get her on camera? Or is she like...
Let me see. Yeah.
I'll get my dog on camera too. Rhaegar, come here. Rhaegar, come to me, my creature. Rhaegar. Oh, he's walking away. Rhaegar. He's not having it.
My puppy. Hold on.
He's not having it.
Sometimes huskies are like that sometimes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love dogs.
She's very, very scared of people for some reason. I think she was abused when she was younger. So now she has she's very scared of people, but she's very adorable when she's in the house. Yeah. I think I've seen your husky. He's really cute.
Yeah.
How old is Rhaegar?
He's adorable. He's a little over 2. He's 2.5 now.
Oh, wow.
Wow. They grow up so fast.
They do, man. I know. I got him when he was this size. I got him when he was a year.
Wow.
Jeez, that's awesome. I kind of want a husky, but I know they always messing stuff up in the house. And
you know what? He did initially, but now he's super chill. He's actually one of the best behaved dogs ever. He's extremely well behaved.
Probably because you're a good owner. I think, when it comes, you have to be a good owner, to your dog.
I mean, I love the dog. I obviously never would hurt him, but I don't know if I'm a good owner. Like sometimes it's 10 p.m. I still haven't fed him yet. I mean, I'm going to feed him right after this podcast, but sometimes I just forget shit.
Yeah, I have to do the same thing when I get home. I don't do you think it's more of a success rate when you bring your dog out with you?
100%. Yeah. But then again, people always say oh, well, you get late because you have a dog, but they always forget that I got a dog about a year ago. I've been, doing quite well for like the last 4 years. So I was, doing really well before I had the dog. The dog just makes it easier.
I know after this, a lot of guys listening to this will be like, oh my God, I got to go to the animal shelter right away and get it.
But if we can encourage guys to rescue dogs, then that's a good cause. If we can, because it's a serious epidemic. There's a lot of dogs that need to be rescued. I highly encourage people to rescue dogs. I mean, sure, if you want to get a breeding dog, go for it. But I think that there's a lot of cute dogs that need to be rescued. So that would be a good cause. That would be like indirectly we do something positive for the world.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. Actually, I don't know. I feel having a good dog is like having kind of like an extra confidence with you. I don't know. There's something about when I go out with my dog, I feel really good. What do you think is like the best way to make yourself feel good, to like maybe conquer the day, like when it comes to your mindset, like eating right, sleeping, or like, is there certain things that you do every day to sort of have like the best optimal of results?
I think that a lot of it comes down to doing the things that you don't want to do. So I try to plan out at least a day ahead of time. So I know exactly what I need to do I allow myself some time to just chill and whatever, obviously, because then I would just go insane. But I roughly have tomorrow planned out, and a lot of it involves shit I don't want to do. Like, for example, I have to make some calls. I don't want to fucking make those calls, dude. Like, I do not want to. I have to do some video stuff that I don't want to do that I've been putting off. Like, I need to go to the pharmacy. I fucking hate going to the pharmacy. So there's a lot of things in my day that I don't want to do. A lot of it is also things I want to do. But I try to hold off on the things that I want to do till the end and do all the things I don't want to do in the beginning. And I think that if you can force yourself consistently to do the things that you know you need to do, you feel like you can do anything.
I find that having a good nutritional plan is also part of a really healthy mindset, because like if you're eating good and you're getting your sleep and everything, you're really on the path, and there's a certain vibe you have when you're fulfilling what you need to do. So like I like to make a list,
Me too, yeah.
Check off the things I've done, get out of bed, make your bed, do a couple push-ups, do some pull-ups, I have like a morning drink that I do like with apple cider vinegar. I put potassium. I usually use like cream of tartar. And then I put like turmeric, a little bit of water, and a lot of pink Himalayan sea salt. And I find like when I have my morning drink, I just take a shot of it. It's disgusting. It's horrible, but you get a lot of the benefits from like the apple cider vinegar and stuff like that.
I start doing that because I've been doing I've been doing just straight up lemon juice. I just squeeze like a lemon and then I just chug that. And I like that, but I got to start adding apple cider vinegar to it because I've heard great things about that too.
Yeah, it helps. I think it's the acid that's in it that really does a lot of it. If you just do like a tablespoon a day, I think you could see a lot of benefits in like the gut system. Because I think a lot of people are constantly messing up their gut, and they're always getting.
I have destroyed my gut. I've been on antibiotics for 4 years. My gut is a fucking war zone. So if anyone could use that, it's me.
That's exactly what the government wants.
Yeah, I feel like the government just wants to destroy our guts.
Yeah, well, they've succeeded with me.
I don't know. It's really easy to get bloated with all the stuff that's in the food these days. So like, it's just taking people off a storm,
Yeah, well, I do try to eat very healthy. I've been eating very healthy for like almost a decade now. It's been a while, dude. I haven't had pizza or cheese or like sugar in a decade. It's crazy.
What's your diet now? Like, what do you usually eat?
I eat. I follow a paleo diet. I'm on a meal because I also don't like wasting time on cooking or cleaning or anything. So I'm on a meal delivery plan. It's like a private chef, and she cooks stuff in her kitchen, sends it to me twice a week. It's all like portioned out. So like I'm trying to get like 3,000 calories in every day from healthy whatever stuff. I want 50% of it to be protein, 40% of it to be fats, and 10% of it to be carbs or something like that, right?
But you do like mostly like low carb.
Yeah. It's keto-esque in nature. So like, it'll be like chicken, steak, chimichurri sauce, some veggies like plantains or yuca, stuff like that, nothing too crazy. She varies it up for me. It's pretty good.
Cheat days?
I don't do cheat days at all.
Really? Okay. So you don't crave sugar at all. Oh my God, I got to binge. Like you have a really good night.
I do, but I can control that, and I can get I eat raspberries when I crave sugar, like organic raspberries. So like I can get in other ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah, my weakness is peanut butter, man.
If you can just switch that over to almond butter though, you'd be good.
Yeah, but even it's still pretty good. Like it's so easy to overeat that. The calories and that stuff is like insane. Like it's still like 190 or 200 calories per tablespoon.
Are you trying to lose weight or gain weight?
Personally, right now I'm just trying to cut. I'm just trying to
Okay,
keep
that's the
summer,
difference because I'm always trying to gain weight because I burn calories really fast. So for me, the fact that something is calorie dense and easy to eat is actually a plus.
Yeah, you're probably more genetically gifted than me because it's like I eat one bagel and my ass is just jiggling all week. It's like I can't eat that many carbs because I just get bloated easily and everything, you know.
Well, it's just a different side of the coin. I'm a extreme ectomorph, so like I burn calories really fast. It's really hard for me to put on weight. Like right now, I'm on TRT and HGH, and that can allows me to maintain weight, but like I'm still not like super ripped. Like I look good, but I'm not as jacked as you would expect someone to be. And a big part of that is because I have a really hard time gaining weight.
What have you noticed like crazy differences after you started taking TRT?
No, not really. You know what's funny? Do you know who More Plates, More Dates is?
Yeah. Derek is good. He's cool.
Yeah, he did a video on me like 2 days ago where he analyzed my voice pre-TRT and post-TRT. It was really bizarre and out of the blue. But basically, his analysis was that my voice completely changed since I started TRT. I don't know how true that is. I definitely think it changed, but I think a large part of that was also because I got more confident on camera. I think that's the part that he kind of missed. But anyway, so that's like a whole different aside. So nothing too crazy. It's been more like mild things, like just like feel a little bit more calm, a little bit more energy, a little bit better libido. It's subtle things, a little bit more muscle mass. Nothing that's like crazy out of this world.
Are you
Very
lifting heavier
subtle.
weights in the gym?
Uh, I wouldn't say like jumped a lot, but I'm not a good specimen for that because I've been having a lot of injuries. So I've had to like the main factor that prevents me from lifting heavy isn't like my muscles repping out. It's the injuries. Like, oh shit, my neck hurts. Okay, I gotta go down and weight. So I'm not like a really good what's it called, specimen for that.
How long have you lived in Miami?
I've been here for 4 years.
How do you like it there? Because I heard it's really things are popping down there. Apparently,
It is popping, dude. It is 100% back to normal.
Yeah, 'cause I know they lifted like the mask mandate and everything. I'm sure people are partying it up down there. I feel like the same is going to happen in Jersey once like things start calming down a little bit more around here. Because we're in a very democratic state and everybody's really like, they're very scared and everything. So it's like,
Dude, it's such a shame. I used to be lifelong. I used to be a Democrat, and like I'm still all about like protecting the environment and like helping people. But like, when did the Democrats become the party of the pussies? Like, I feel like it happened like last 3 years. Like,
that's
what?
what I'm
Like,
saying. It's like they're taking things so seriously down here, especially our governor is like promoting eating pizza on Twitter. I'm just like, oh my God.
there's so much hypocrisy. Like, you can't go to the gym, but you can go to a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, like a Popeyes had opened up recently, on like Highway 36 or whatever, and so the day it opened until like a week later, there was always a line that would go for miles out of its parking lot down the highway, and it would be there for hours. It would be insane the amount of times, like especially from when because it opened a couple months ago, I think, and the line was like miles, and for days it'd just be that over and over again. Finally, I think now it's finally started to slow down because now I think they're doing the DoorDash and the delivery stuff, so everyone doesn't have to get up and go. They can just sit down, be lazy, and just get the food anyway.
Right. Yo, Davey, could you pass me a water, please? You can. Sorry. Go ahead.
Actually, what do you do? I said that's actually a good question. What do you do like when you're
Thanks, bro.
texting your girl, like maybe off an app or something, and you try to get her on a date, and she gives you the beer bug excuse, like, "Oh, I'm not feeling safe enough to go out right now." What's your like response when you get that kind of?
Because of Corona?
Yeah. Let's say she like your things are going well, and you're like, "Oh, we should meet up for a drink sometime," and then she says, "Oh, I'm waiting until things calm down or I get vaccinated," whatever.
I mean, in Miami, that excuse would make no sense because I'm like, bitch, things have calmed down 6 months ago. Like, what else are you waiting for? We got spring breakers, like lighting cars on fire. Like, how much more do you want things to calm down? So hearing this excuse would like never ever happen. But
It happens in Jersey a lot.
okay, but I did get this excuse when this whole thing started about a year ago. So I'll try to remember what I used to say back in those days. Let me think. So what did I used to go with? I used to try to call out the concern. So I'd be like, "Are you worried I have the Rona?" And she would be like, haha, yeah, you know, you can never be too safe. So at this point, the question is, how honest do you want to be? And if you don't mind kind of fudging the truth, then the best response would be something like, "You're good. I just got tested yesterday and I'm clean." Or "You're good. I guess now you can say you're good. I just got the vaccine, so no risk on my end, right?" If you want to be honest, then you can say something like, "You're good. You know, I've been socially distancing." Like you want to give her some kind of logical excuse that, okay, actually this is a safe situation.
Yeah, that's a good answer because you know a lot of people, especially around here, a lot of places in the world right now. Still, I mean, God, I wish we were in Florida because so much. I think it'd be a lot more successful down there. But like when it comes to like democratic states like Jersey, there's still a lot of people that are like kind of scared to go out dating and stuff, and you know, or it could also be they're just not interested and they're just using that as an excuse not to go out with you anyway, or you have not built enough.
I
Like,
don't know, man. I think a lot of people are really tired of this shit. I think a lot of people just want to go out and live their lives. I think a lot of people are really, really tired of this nonsense. You can't tell human beings that they have to cut off social interactions and sit inside for years. Like you can't mass incarcerate the world. It's just not practical. So I don't know. I think most people honestly are tired of it. I've seen the pendulum swing. Like I've seen like when this whole thing started. So just to give you a quick context, like when this whole thing started, I was like against it from the start. I was not that I'm like a COVID denier or anything like that. I actually personally had Corona, like, you know, so like I know it's real. I know it's, you know, can fuck you up. I just don't think it's worth shutting down the whole world because of a disease that kills 0.01% of the population. So I was against the whole COVID lockdown thing from the start. You know, I thought it was a very dangerous president. You know, government stepping in and just telling people what they can and can't do. I thought that our response to the pandemic was atrocious. And so, but I remember when I would go on Instagram, I would make posts like that. Everyone was against me, right? Like everyone was like, "No, dude, like
in my world,
you have no conscience." But then I noticed that like 3-4 months in, the pendulum started to swing the other way. Like then at that point when I would make posts, it would be like 50-50. People would be like, "Well, he's got a point. This is like pretty ridiculous." And then like 6 months later, the pendulum started swinging in the other direction. Now more people were like, "Yeah, he's fucking right. Like, why should we have to like lock ourselves inside for 6 months? You know, maybe this thing is not as big deal as we thought, you know." So it's just like I watched the pendulum swing the other way. And I think people are just like really tired of this shit.
Yeah, it's definitely has gotten the pendulum has swung a lot actually in the past few months. Like I remember like when this first started, I actually like I went on a date with this one girl, went to the park because it was like back in whenever the last time was warm around here, and I went to a park and I'm going for like the kiss, and she was like, "Oh, I can't. I don't know if you have corona," and I was like, only in Jersey this is stuff happened.
Yeah, it's
I was
funny
like,
because you guys were like literally standing next to each other, sitting next to each other like the whole time.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'd rather just wait till the next date," and I was like, "Okay, I know,
Sure.
I know where this goes." I was like, "Nope."
Gotta go.
Yeah, it's crazy. The also the like the lack of scientific, I don't know, reasoning that most people have. Like, you know, like in our in our elevator in our building, it says like 3 people at a time. And then like, you know, most people don't give a shit, but there's some people who are like real sticklers by that rule. And so I'll go in the elevator and they'll be like, "Dude, it says 3 people only. You're the 4th person." I was like, "I know, we're all gonna die." They're like, "What?" I'm just kidding. Like,
I know. I literally be trolling people out here.
Yeah, well, that's why I do a lot. Like, I've gotten in quite a few arguments with people over like this nonsense. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's fucking crazy. Like the world, like half the world has literally lost their mind.
I know, and Jersey is definitely part of the half that has.
Yeah, completely.
People come at me all the time because I barely wear it. I try not to wear it like anywhere, like the mask, and I'm just like whatever. And then you get the people who are like, "Don't you care about my health?" And they're just like 50 pounds overweight, and I'm just like, "You did this to yourself."
Yeah, it's preposterous because first of all, the masks have been scientifically disproven not to do anything. Like that's why when you're wearing the mask and someone else farts, you can still smell it, right? Because that gas is so small. The only masks that work are the N95 masks, right? Yeah. Those actually do work, but no one's wearing those.
I was actually wearing them in the beginning, but
people just wearing
almost broke my nose.
People just wearing average face coverings. They're not even wearing.
Yeah. Well, the N95 masks legitimately do work, but like the regular masks that 99% of people wear, they don't do shit to prevent the spread of COVID. It just makes people feel better.
And I feel like N95 masks, they're just like not for people who work. I feel like they just don't they're not good for if you work over 8 hours. Like I feel like you should not wear them if you're working like 8 or more hours in a day. Wearing the N95s, I feel like those like they, especially depending upon which ones you have, like if they're like the complete strap ones or if they're just ones that you could just put right over with no issues. Like certain ones, they can like hurt your nose, and depending on.
Dude, I can't even do like an hour because at our gym you have to technically wear a mask. Like even with the regular mask, I can't do an hour-long workout. Like I have to take that shit off. I can't get enough oxygen in. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like fucking dying over here. I'm just gonna stroke out so that someone doesn't potentially get COVID.
It's actually funny. A buddy of mine, he actually lives in Miami too. He went to LA Fitness, and he was like, he was so sick of wearing masks, so he literally went in there and did a workout with no mask on, and like he got into a big fight with like the security guards and the manager of the LA, and was like threatening to sue them and stuff, and he put it up on his Instagram. It was actually really funny.
Which LA Fitness was it? I wonder if I know the manager.
Well, I don't know, but I know he lives by Brickell.
It was probably the same LA Fitness that I used to go to because I've gotten into a fight with that manager too over bringing my dog there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, how you gonna hate on that? Come on.
Dude, he's a service dog. I'm legally allowed to bring him anywhere. But yeah, the manager there gave me shit because, like, dude, literally at that gym, like 99% of patrons love my dog. Like, everyone would come over and play with him. But there was that one fucking person who did not like having a dog, who had to complain. And because of that one fucking grouchy motherfucker, the fun is over for everybody. I can't bring my dog. And I'm like, fuck this guy. Like, why doesn't he come and say shit to my face? And like, you know, like, go suck a dick. Like, yo, okay, I'm sorry that you don't like the fact that I have a dog. My dog doesn't bark or bother anyone. Every single other gym member likes it. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's just, I mean, I see people running around my neighborhood with a mask on. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, dude, it's insanity, man.
It's like just the reasons, the excuses to move to like Texas or Florida, they're just adding up like by the day.
Well, it's good for states like Texas and Florida. Like Texas and Florida, the economies here are booming.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
I was actually in Florida like a month ago. I was actually in Disney World. It was in Florida, it's pretty nice, especially around now because the it's not as cold and everything. And there's like, well, but when I was there wasn't that many people. So like going to Disney World, it was actually pretty cool because there were barely anybody there. Now I know that there's like a whole bunch of people down there right now because of spring break and stuff. But the economies over there, especially in Central Florida, is going off the charts because of that, Disney, Universal. They're all.
Well, yeah, and also a lot of tech companies are moving down here, especially Texas. Yeah. Texas is number 1, but Florida is number 2.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk relocated Tesla to Texas.
Yeah, I heard about that. I think he also has SpaceX over in Florida too, right? Or is it in Texas?
I believe it's in Texas, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I know they have like a partnership or whatever with NASA too, or something.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like they have. I know NASA also has stuff in Texas.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Elon hasn't checked in with me in a while.
The world's it's getting even weirder by the day. I mean, eventually it'll calm down. Once more people get their vaccine, and let them do what they want.
And I feel like even with all of this, even with all this craziness, like people like us and people like you, like it actually is a lot better. You get so much more out of something like this because a lot of people, they don't want to go out. And a lot of guys, like, you have technically less competition if you cold approach like women. I feel like. So
I would agree with that theory, but the problem is usually it's more women that are worried about COVID than men. So in reality, it might be a little bit of the opposite because you're going to have more guys likely to go out than women. Because women are typically more likely to live, especially in like Miami, live with their families and they have older, people living with them. Versus guys are gonna be more like, yo, fuck, I gotta get some pussy. I'm fucking growing up, grandma. I don't give a shit. Like, fuck you, grandma.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You've lived a long life. Yeah. So, so you might have but it's still quite good. Like, I'm not gonna bitch. The ratio here is quite great.
Yeah, up here it's not too bad. I mean, for me, I've had a pretty good year.
Yeah, 2020 for you was actually really, really good.
Yeah, because I never really worried too much about all this stuff. I feel like you can only control like what your mind right? You can't control what others do, but you can control like your own actions. So when I first heard about all this stuff going on, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to the gym, right? Keep doing my thing. And then of course gyms closed down. So what do? We ran every single day. We did like minimum 3 miles. So like every single day we made like a Facebook group, and then we just started recording us running every single day, right? To like get the hopes of people up and like keep the spirit alive and everything. So we did a minimum of 3 miles every single day until our gyms opened back up. So it was a couple months of us just constantly running. So we would like record it, put it up, and we'd have people commenting every day, oh, keep it up, you know? So we wanted to do at least something there. So like,
Yeah,
while
I built a mini gym on my balcony. I just bought a bunch of like used free weights and shit and like benches, and I built like a mini gym on my balcony.
yeah, I bought one of those power tower, like, I have a pull-up bar now, and I just bought a couple dumbbells, and, you know, you could do a lot of things, you know, with the equipment that you have. Some people, like, they make the excuse, oh, well, I can't work out today because, oh, I don't have a bench, or I don't have a pull-up bar. But you could just do, like, you could do push-ups, you could do sit-ups, you could do weightless squats, you could do different things. So you can even get the bands, which you mentioned before, and you could do different exercises with those. So there's a lot of different options. You don't just need a gym to get fit, right? Plus, if you want to lose weight and like stay like lean, like it's all in the nutrition, man. You just got to have the right stuff to eat, you know, not have the vanilla bullshit drinks at Starbucks every morning, right?
It's true. It's true. It's true.
I was like, you know, if you can keep your weight under control, you're already like half the battle is already solved, and you know, you don't need a gym, but it does help. But you could still stay in shape with just like the the bare minimum.
Yeah, you can even go to like a park and you know use like a jungle gym or even one of those outside gym things. And
The problem is a lot of those got closed down when the thing was at its worst, at least in Florida.
Yeah, we had a park that we usually go to run, and they had one of those outside gym things as well, and they had closed it. But a lot of people they just tore it down. And we're just working, and nice. we were followers of that. We saw that they were taking it down, so we just went right in there and started
yeah, I jumped right over and just kept going anyway. I didn't care. Yeah, never got in trouble. No one saw. Whatever.
Right.
Did you actually find that your business actually got a lot better during like the past year?
Oh yeah, definitely. The COVID thing definitely was good for business.
That's what I've heard, because I know a lot of like people are. I mean, they're home, you know, and they're using online dating stuff. So, and then
they're home. They're using online dating. They have nothing to do but watch YouTube videos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect opportunity. I think that's the best thing you can do is take advantage of the situation. Not like, oh, always me. Now I'm gonna get fat. No, why don't you just use the situation to your advantage? Look at what you can control, what you can accomplish. I mean, your business has seen a lot of improvements, and that's just one thing that has probably improved. You know, like you could take a situation, make it good with a good mindset and like a will to act.
Oh yeah, for sure. Our business is doing better than ever. I gotta start looking for stupid shit to drop my money on. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that, but
big baller.
No, not really. But I mean, like, you know, a lot of it I reinvest in the business. Like, for example, right now we're developing an app where that's going to be able to, so you're going to be able to upload pictures, and it's going to actually, AI is going to rank your pictures and tell you how good they are. So basically we're going to have a computer program who can do what I can do. And I think that's because I can't look at 1,000 profiles a day, but a computer can look at 100,000 profiles a day. So the hard part is going to be training the AI, which is something I'm going to be very involved in. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. So that's like a big thing we got coming up.
It's actually very interesting.
Yeah, super interesting.
There's a lot of potential in that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about that idea.
Is there like a situation where you would recommend a guy to like go monk mode? A lot of people, they use that as like an excuse, right, to take a break from the field, right?
No, I think that's kind of gay. I don't like you're fucking so many girls that you can't get any work done. Like who are you, Hugh Hefner? Like I've never known a single guy that literally can't get work done because my 3 p.m. girl was here. Like most of these guys are not getting late anyway. So no, you should be able to do more than one thing in your life. Like, how much time are you spending on girls that you can't work? Like, I don't fucking know. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, these guys are just spending all their money on OnlyFans now, and that's a business that just rises. Like,
yeah, like cut out the stupid shit. Cut out social media. Cut out OnlyFans. Cut out TV. I haven't owned a TV in like 5 years. I mean, I do watch Game of Thrones on my phone because I am addicted to that show. But other than that, I mostly do audiobooks and. Cut out this stupid shit. I mean, occasionally I do troll Instagram, but I try to limit it to like, 10, 15 minutes. Like, I'm not going to be on Instagram for hours, but I've seen people literally space out in front of Instagram for like hours and hours. So don't do that. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
apparently like porn like viewership consumption is like increased tenfold. What's your stance on like pornography?
I've heard that. Yeah, it's interesting. And it's also interesting that Pornhub. Did you hear about this? Like, what was it, like 2-3 months ago? Pornhub completely cut out like 90% of its creators. So if you're not verified by Pornhub, you can't upload videos anymore. So effectively, Pornhub removed like 90% of its content.
I don't know if that was bad for business or good. I don't even know if it matters anymore because so many people are just sitting at home jerking off anyway.
Or they just create their own OnlyFans and do it that way.
Yeah, well, I have completely different feelings about someone creating their own OnlyFans versus signing up for someone else's OnlyFans. If you're a girl and you want to make extra money, like, I'm not gonna hold anything against you for doing an OnlyFans. Like, good job on your hustle. Like, hit me up if you want me to be in a video with you. Like, I don't know what else, if you're a guy and you're paying for girls' OnlyFans, then I feel bad for you because you're a fucking simp. And I hate using that word, but if you
I do too. But it's like, what else would you like to use? You know what I mean? I think they used to. Didn't they back in the day? They used to call it AFC, average frustrated chump.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like paying for I feel like 15 years ago, things were different when like there was no Pornhub. So like, sign up $10 a month and pay for like browsers.com. That was like, okay, that was like not the worst thing ever. I feel like now with all the free porn that's out there, if you're still paying for porn now, that's like a lot worse than 15 years ago paying for like browsers or Bang Bros.
Yeah. Would you actually date monogamously a OnlyFans girl? Because I know there's a lot of rage.
Monogamously an OnlyFans girl. I don't know if I would date anyone monogamously right now. I wouldn't really. Well, the question is, would that be a deterrent for me? The fact that she's an OnlyFans girl.
Yeah, let's say OnlyFans girl, you start dating her. She wants to be in a relationship with just you two. Would you like date a girl seriously who had an OnlyFans?
It just depends on what her plans are. Like, does she plan on doing OnlyFans forever, or is she really smart and she has a plan how to do something else? Like, there's a lot of factors that will get involved. I would not hold it against her that she did OnlyFans.
Yeah, because you have one side of the coin. A lot of guys are just like, oh, I would never date a girl with an OnlyFans. I have more integrity than that. And then you have the other guy on the other side of the coin who's like, well,
yeah, because those guys can't even fuck the OnlyFans girls, so they're like, fucking get off their fucking pedestals. Like, those guys aren't fucking OnlyFans girls. And then saying, oh, I wouldn't date one of those. Like, most of those guys are jerking off to the OnlyFans girls.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you have to make your own decision, but you get like the guys who are just like mad about it. And then of course you have the guys who are like, wow, life is just so unfair for guys these days because girls can make all the money they want. I mean, of course guys do have to, we have to perform, we have to like, succeed in the world and do our thing and go on.
Yeah, I've heard that argument. It's big in the red pill community. It's, things are harder for guys now than they were 20 years ago, but
the internet's changed everything.
Like, so fucking what? Like, it's still pretty easy as a white guy to make it in America. Like, oh, like, poor me, white guy in America. I'll never make it. The odds stacked against me.
Usually it's like, I'm some guys are like, oh, well, due to my ethnicity, now I can't get girls. Now I can't succeed. I'm just going to opt out. I'm just going to go monk mode for a long time, or I'm just going to give up, that mentality. I hate that mentality.
Yeah, I think monk mode is pretty lame.
It's like, I mean, you should at least try, put yourself out there, But a lot of guys, they give themselves excuses of why they shouldn't try to go date and stuff like that. As long as you're not putting it like the focus of your life, obviously have something else going for you. But
yeah, like right now at this point, like I sometimes go days and days without checking my dating apps. I just don't have the time. I'm just so busy with work and podcasts and playing with fire, just all the shit we're doing. So I really to me, like, dating is like the bottom of my priority, list. Like, I have a few girls who I'm consistently hooking up with. They take priority. So I haven't been on a new date in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, which is a very long time for me. But
yeah. I
mean, but but I would never be like, you know what, I'm going to decide to go into monk mode. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, I feel like as long as you're doing, what you want to do, you do your purpose, you see whoever you want to see. Like, if you're, you go on a date and it works well, and you keep her in like a rotation, you get multiple, and you're still doing what you want to do, then I feel like that's probably like the perfect scenario. just keeping yourself, on your grind and having whoever, that wants to be there, with you.
Yeah, you just don't want to get carried away with it. Like, you don't want to put all your focus into the girls, and then you start missing out on work. Because a lot of guys will do that these days. They just get so wrapped into it. They get really like so focused on the girls and everything, and then they start missing out on their own life. And you really need to also keep in contact with your friends, like the boys.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
A lot of people are not seeing their friends, man. But people need friends now more than ever.
Yeah, for sure. 100% agree with that.
Like a tribe or something, because go into like a place that you can make new friends, like something that you enjoy doing. But a lot of people are just sitting at home and they're not like taking that kind of action. You need to develop like a friend group, and then you can go places with those friend group and you could accomplish a lot more than you can solo.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
Well, we got to wrap up the podcast here due to time. But Alex, thanks for coming on, man. The podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yes, no problem. We'll talk a couple minutes backstage. But for everyone that tuned in, thanks a lot. And we'll see you guys in the next podcast. If you want to find Alex, where can they find you?
Yeah, so go to on YouTube, Playing with Fire Dating, or you can just type in Playing with Fire Alex. We'll put the links in the show notes or whatever. Or
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll send you guys the link. Instagram, Real Playing Fire. TikTok, Real Playing with Fire. Website, playingfire.com. We have a lot of awesome free resources you guys can check out if you want to take your texting online or just life in general to the next level.
All right, with that said, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you.